All right, guys, welcome to episode 16 of Never Press Pause. I am Bill Yarnall, gamertag Yarnasty590. To my right, we have
Jeremy Grant, gamertag KY-Guy78.
And to our left, we have yet another new guest host for tonight's episode, episode 16 of Never Press Pause. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Matt Yarnall. I don't have a gamer tag.
You do, Fat Matt 1.
No.
No? Did your Hotmail, or did it go dead? Did you let the gold membership expire?
I think so. I haven't played Xbox in probably a year and a half.
Yeah, maybe. Yes. So I remember having it on there, and he had a little frog for his gamer pick, and for 3 months he played Halo, or tried to play Halo 3, and that was about all she wrote for online gaming.
Why would you want to play Halo 3?
You love Halo 3.
Oh, I love it.
Guys, like I said, this is Never Press Pause, episode 16, back in studio again. Got a little special night tonight with some Oscars talk and some other stuff like that. More what you've been playing, what you've been watching. Basically, Oscars. Oscars. It's been one of my favorite nights since I was your guys' age. Talking to the crowd, if you're a high school student out there, I guess. But I've been watching the Oscars ever since, and that Sunday night, it's like a little magic in the air.
Yeah.
Some popcorn, some pizza, some Coke, and good times with the Oscars. Who doesn't like that? So, guys, don't forget you can follow us on Twitter at Never Press Pause. You can join our fan page on Facebook. And our blog is now on our website at neverpresspause.com. Also, don't forget BreeOnline.com. Thank you to Hembry Studios and Tech Talk for letting us do this every time we're coming in studio. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into episode 16, and let's get a little what you've been playing out of the way, because Fat Matt 1 over here doesn't play too much.
Well, he can tell us, what apps he's been playing or something. But.
A lot of Angry Birds, a lot of Cut the Rope.
Yeah,
the good ones.
The good ones. All right, so we'll talk about your apps here in a minute, because you love your iPhone. You love playing on that. G-Baby, what you been playing?
I've actually went through a lot of games here lately. I finished off Mass Effect 2. Really liked Mass Effect 2 till you got to the end. The final boss battle is kind of anticlimactic. But a good story. Really, really liked Mass Effect 2. Basically, all the problems I had with the first Mass Effect, it kind of cleaned them up. Made the combat a lot smoother. The leveling up is a lot easier. You don't have to go wandering around to find the side missions. It kind of points them out to you. Really enjoyed that. Playing Mafia 2 right now. It's fun, but it's like I was telling you all today in that email. Last night I did a mission where literally for maybe 10, 15 minutes, I'm driving around two drunk guys, and you have to stop every time one of them says, "Oh, I'm going to be sick." And you stop. The guy gets out of the car. He throws up. Same animation every time. And then eventually you go to this place and you bury a dead body. All in a cutscene. Like, you don't get to do that. And then you drive the guys back.
Are they still puking on the way back?
Yeah.
Great. That's good.
And then there was another one where you're selling cigarettes illegally. And a guy comes up and he says, "I want a blue." So you go find the blue crate, and then you hit X, and they toss a blue cigarette carton to him.
So almost like Baby Einstein.
Yeah, it's kind of like they wanted to do the Heavy Rain thing. Like, we want to tell this story, and we kind of don't want the game to get in the way, because the combat's not that great. The achievements are really easy. That's kind of why I'm hanging with it.
You have seriously.
Well, it's kind of the point.
Achievement whore.
Well, it's kind of I got to the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm on chapter 5. The game's not getting a whole lot better, but there's only 12 or 13 chapters in the game, so I'm like, I'm halfway done, so I might as well finish it off. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. I've sort of enjoyed it. I mean, it's definitely it's worth checking out. Now, I rented Dead Space 2. And was going to play it.
Disc read error.
Yeah, got an hour and a half into it, basically up to the first boss, and get a disc read error, and take it out, clean it off, put it back in, play right up to the same point, disc read error.
Oh, it didn't save to that point?
Well, I'd saved it about 5 minutes before that, so I went back, played to that, and then same disc read error, and I looked, and whoever rented it before me or whatever must have moved their Xbox, because there was that big ring in the middle. But what I had played so far was pretty awesome.
Pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
Huh? So the second one's just as good, if not better than the first.
Yeah, and
so
very, very good at setting the atmosphere of very much
space dementia.
Yeah, and there's also, if you get Dead Space 2 and you didn't play the first Dead Space, or you've just forgotten, there's a video you can go watch. This is previously on Dead Space. That video is kind of creepy. and it does a good job of summarizing everything that happened.
I remember with Dead Space 1, and Bailey had gotten it before either one of us even knew about it, and we were just getting into Xbox a little bit at the time, and he threw Dead Space our way. And, of course, he kind of spoiler alerted me on, look out because you're going to have some spots where you jump and stuff like that. The only game that had done that for me previously was Resident Evil, and that was way back on PS, PlayStation, regular PlayStation.
Yeah.
But then we had gotten PlayStation 2. Didn't we get Manhunt 2? Mm-hmm. We had gotten Manhunt, and man, that game, there were parts in that game with the pig face boy. Oh, gosh almighty. I was jumping. So, but I think for Dead Space, Bailey seriously had ruined it because I was, every time I went around a corner, every time it got dark, I was waiting for this just gigantic creature and anything. And, that one where they just reach it out and grabs your leg and starts pulling you through the hallways. And I'm like, all right, not as scary as I thought it was going to be. But the game overall, we've talked about Dead Space and how much we like it. You hit on something, and I want to talk about that, especially with Matt being in studio, and we don't want to leave him in the dark all night and have him just sitting over here playing on Facebook, which he would do for days. You said you've gotten so far invested in the Mafia that there's no sense in not quitting.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our point. What's our cutoff? What's your cutoff into a game, like time-wise? Time invested into a game. It's a bad game, but you're going to finish it. Give me a rough ballpark estimate of where you cut off.
I think if I'm not into the game within the first probably hour and a half, I'm done.
Okay, hour. I was going about an hour. Now, mind you, though, I hated Fallout 3 for the first 2 or 3 hours. Until 11:11. And I'm getting to the point, and maybe where I'm so exhausted, but you and Bailey have thrown Mass Effect my way, and you're making me play it, not forcing my hand, but you guys have asked me to play it, so I'm started it. So I'm about 2 hours invested, and at this point, I just see the Citadel, and I'm like, I have to run all the way over there, and then I have to run all the way over, and I can travel and do whatever, and I get so confused with those games. Like I'm like, well, I just talked to that guy, but what if I didn't say everything I needed to say? It just wears me out, and it just keeps me on edge more than any shooter game, any first-person shooter game ever will. I'm 2 hours invested. I know I'm going to finish the game, but I just don't know on what timeline I'm going to finish the game. Is it going to take me a month to finish it, or am I going to finish it overnight like I do with some of the other games?
I will tell you about Mass Effect. If you don't do any of the side quests, you can finish the game in probably 2 or 3 hours.
See, I haven't even found anybody for... The only side quest right now is going up to those little observer thing creatures on the computers and getting information from them. So, now, why I brought this up and why I want to talk about this with Matt here, Matt had gotten a game for the Wii. Well, it was Manhunt again. It was the third Manhunt, wasn't it?
It wasn't a Manhunt, it was something, but...
It was kind of like Manhunt. Yeah. So you're basically sneaking around trying to kill people. And Matt had gotten this for the Wii, bought it, and I've never seen my brother sit down and play a video game like this. And so he's sitting, he's into it, and you can hear him like getting mad at the Wii and everything else. He's got his nunchucks going, and he's fist flying and just loving this game. Why don't you go ahead and finish the story? What happens at the end of this game, and then what did you do to said game after that happened? Now, mind you, this was what, like a $20, $30 game at the time?
Yeah, I don't remember what happened at the end, but I do remember breaking it in half and throwing it away.
So, he seriously, he gets through this game, and he's played it for a week straight. And like I said, I've never seen Matt play for a week straight of any game. Plays for a week straight, gets to the final boss chapter, and the game freezes. And instead of Matt going back to his previous save, and he's so mad at this point, he takes the game out of the Wii, he snaps it in half, and instead of throwing it in the trash, opens his window and throws it into the driveway. So I'm like, what are you doing? And of course, the slur of cuss words coming out of his mouth would have made a sailor blush, but he is up and down, just screaming and breaking in this game, and he's like, I'm never... Oh, it was...
That was a Manhunt game, I think.
Yeah, it was like Manhunt 3 or 2 or something, but yeah, I was like, wow, I don't ever really want to be on his bad side or video game's bad side. So that's what I'm saying. He had put all this time into it. It freezes up at the end. And
that's why I don't play games.
Yeah, of course, instead of actually going back to a save point, he just snaps it in half and throws it out the window. But I'm with you. Give me an hour and 15, hour and a half. If I'm into it, I'm into it. Like I said, I'm not so into Mass Effect right now that it would bother me if I stopped playing. But for your guys' sake and for mine, because you guys say Mass Effect 2 is so much better and yada, yada, yada. Everybody says that.
Yeah.
I really do want to try
Well, I'll tell you, I played Mass Effect for probably, I was 3 or 4 hours in over the summer, and I just kind of got bored with it, saved it, and then I got done with whatever it was. So I'd played New Vegas, I'd played all the games I wanted to play, And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back and try to finish up Mass Effect because I had Mass Effect 2. I got it for $10. And I was like, you know, I want to finish the first one before I go into the second one. And I think taking that break and then jumping into the game, and I didn't feel like I was grinding as much. But, you know, it went better. It's one of those that once you get going and once you start picking people up and you start going on the missions and stuff.
Yeah, I've got a million gazillion questions I need to ask you and Bailey about it anyways, like the team members and how do I switch my team members in and out. But we'll get to that some other time. I'm sure our fans don't want to listen to that. All right, with that being said, of course, you know, we just talked about of course, we're still playing Call of Duty every now and again, throwing that in. I find it even easier now. I find that I jump into my first game and I'm going, you know, 30-4 now. I'm calling in 2 gunships a game and dogs. I'm just sitting around and doing whatever I want willy-nilly and still getting kills, racking up kills. You know, I'm not even worried about capturing flags anymore. Hardcore, probably the best mode ever. I love it, and it's so much fun, but now I'm just doing even better than I ever imagined on this game. And I just talked to one of my buddies that I haven't talked to almost 6 months, and he's on Prestige 4, but he doesn't play like we do, but he's absolutely, it's the best Call of Duty game out.
Well, I haven't played it in 2, maybe 3 weeks, and put it in for a little bit last night, jumped into Team Deathmatch, went 17-4, and it's so fluid. It's so, like, you just pick it up, and I died a couple times off the bat, and I was like, okay, I remember this button does this, and you pick it right up. It is so kind of easy. Like, they've made it friendly to pick up, and even horrible people can pick it up and play it, and you're going to kill people. And I think, that's the main thing, because when you and I first started playing, we just wanted to go shoot people.
Yeah.
We didn't care about winning. We didn't care about KD. We didn't care about anything like that. And just gradually you get better at doing that. And that's how you learn, is going and doing that stuff.
Yeah, well, we've seen Solly, playing with Solly,
Yeah.
the guy that was on here last week. He's gotten much, much better every time we play. So, with that being said, Call of Duty, Black Ops, man, I can't say enough good things about that. I also just picked up, you'd hit me up on email. Alan Wake was $20 on Amazon, deal of the day. Picked it up, and you brought that to me today, so I'll throw that in the Xbox, and then in the next podcast I'll be talking about a little Alan Wake. You've already beaten it with the no DLC.
Yep.
DLC's downloadable content, FYI.
Thanks.
I'm not stupid.
I'm not stupid.
So I'll be talking about Alan Wake the next time, but I'm really excited to get that in there, get some downloadable content going, and seeing what that's all about. All right, anything you want to talk about on your app store, on the App Store? Any games besides Angry Birds?
I haven't found any good ones lately.
What about the Cover Orange?
Cover
You
Orange?
beat it?
No, I quit playing that.
Why?
Because it was getting too dumb.
Too
I couldn't beat a
repetitive?
part, so I gave up.
You didn't break your iPhone? Throw it out the
I kept
window?
the iPhone on
Okay,
that one.
Good. So, all right, so that's what we've been playing. Let's go ahead and segue into what you've been watching. We'll start with you, Matt. What do you anything you've been watching on TV, movie-wise, besides Oscar nominations?
No, I basically see almost every movie that's out because I don't work very hard.
Whoa. This is going out like live. People can see this.
That's fine. He knows me. TV-wise, just same old animation domination Sundays.
Which has been going on for... go ahead and tell them a little bit. Tell our fan base about yourself. Simpson fan for the last 30 years.
Yeah, I've seen every episode, so...
I would honestly, I think...
Got every DVD they have. So, other than that, watching a lot of Discovery Channel. For some reason, got stuck on Gold Rush, which is about Alaska. People trying to find gold. It's a horrible show, but...
Do you love it? The Glory Hole?
Yeah, they talk about the Glory Hole all the time.
They talk about that on Talk Soup.
Yeah.
Oh, that clip on Talk Soup is great. Anything else on Discovery that we need to be checking out?
No, not that I can think of.
All right. Well, there you go. So
what you been watching?
What have I been watching?
Yes.
Well, that's a great segue. He just throws it right to me. No, me and Liz actually got to go to the movies the other night and watch No Strings Attached. Ashton Kutcher and Natalie Portman.
I'm sorry to hear that, Bill.
Oh, my God. I loved it. That movie, have you seen it? Did you see that? That one is hilarious. And then Ludacris. He's got like 3 or 4 scenes in it, but every scene he's in, he steals. And I was laughing out loud to the point where like people in the audience were staring at me because I was laughing so hard. It's absolutely hilarious. Great movie to go see, especially with a lady friend. I really recommend No Strings Attached. Other than that, Not a lot. Been traveling with volleyball and going up there 2 nights a week and trying to keep this workout thing going. It's hard enough just to get game time in, let alone movie time. So that's basically what I've been watching, and that's all I got. No strings attached. Go see it if you get a chance before it hits. If you got a date night or anything coming up. And G baby, what you got? What have you been watching over there?
I've kind of been getting caught up on some DVDs. Got busy, had some stuff going on. Kind of went through a lot here recently. I watched The Town finally. Thought it was a really good movie. Not as impressed with it as a lot of people seem to be. I kind of thought the last third or so of the movie, it was kind of lost its way. Kind of like it didn't seem it knew how it wanted to end. I watched Red. Really liked Red. Thought the tone was pretty good. All the actors. John Malkovich is hilarious. I'm getting the pig. I just remember that part. Bruce Willis, he said, I'm going to say something I never thought I'd get to say again. I'm getting the pig. And that just cracked me up.
John Malkovich cracks me up.
Yeah, so that was pretty good. What else have I watched? You had my list up there. Yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine.
I watched Middlemen.
Tell me about Middlemen.
Okay, Middlemen's got Luke Wilson. And it's about the guy who supposedly created
Facebook.
Created porn on the internet, basically. He's the guy that got hooked up with these other 2 guys who created these credit card billing systems that when you go to these porn sites, like it shows up as 247billing.com. And the first hour or so was really interesting. I thought it was really good. And then it just kind of devolved into like everybody's an idiot. He's the only one that can fix it. But I thought it was pretty decent. And then I watched Night and Day, the Tom Cruise, Cameron Diaz movie. One of Tom Cruise's better performances in a while. Again, it was a movie started off pretty good and then just kind of went all over the place at the end.
Yeah, you've got 2 of those 3 up there. Of course, we've seen The Town. We talked about that a while back. I cannot wait for Red to come in on Netflix and Night and Day. I've got both of them on my queue.
Red in the car.
Oh, that has just made my night. Not just being here with you 2 gentlemen and doing Never Press Pause. However, Red, I've wanted to see that since it's been out. Of course, I also wanted to see Social Network since it's been out. And now that I have the capability again with the Blu-ray player, we will be watching that shortly, and I will get that back to you ASAP. That's as soon as possible.
Oh, okay. Not stupid.
So we'll get that going. But other than that, nothing else you've been watching? Got some Discovery? Oh, and did you see what Matt just pulled up? So Matt's been watching Jeopardy, of course, and Watson. But Matt has no idea because he's not on the email list.
About our work.
We have taken Watson to a new level. He actually won the dunk contest because we photoshopped his head. We photoshopped the picture of Watson over.
Yeah, he's now going to be in 2.5 Men. He's taking the boys' place in 2.5 Men.
What else? He was in Jersey Shore.
He was in Jersey Shore, yeah.
And then Robbie, of course, said that because he beat the 2 champions of Jeopardy. Oh, no, Ken Jennings is the ruler of the country.
Yeah.
Because of 6 weeks of winning on Jeopardy, you're the natural ruler of the world. What else did Bailey put him on, though? Oh, Survivor and
American Idol.
And American Idol. So we had photoshopped and sent these back and forth to each other.
I need to get on that email list.
And I mean, for 2 days straight, we did this, and we were peeing.
And it was kind of like who could top the other one.
Yes.
So,
but so Watson. Now, do you know about Watson?
Yes, he won.
He
killed him.
Or like
just destroyed him.
3 nights in a row, or how many nights? 3.
Yeah.
So, do you think you could take on a supercomputer, or was it faster than you?
Pretty fast.
Okay. Now, Watson is a computer. However, it didn't know that Toronto was not a city in America.
Yeah,
so.
he had some problems, but
Yeah.
overall he was pretty bad ass.
yeah, that's fine. You can say that.
The pause.
Yeah,
Like, oh gosh, I'm gonna say that.
yeah, for those of you who don't know, Matt's on trying to be on good behavior tonight.
So we put him there. All right. Well, with that being said, that's what we've been watching, what we've been playing. We're getting ready to go to our first break. This is episode 16 of Never Press Pause. All right, guys, welcome back to episode 16 of Never Press Pause. To my right, we got KY Guy 78. To my left, Fat Matt 1. Just got done talking about what you've been watching, what you've been playing, and now we're going to get into some new releases. And of course, I have mine. I don't want to talk about here in a little bit, anyways. And we're going to talk about one me and you talked about a minute ago, or at school today. So
yeah.
But go ahead, G baby. What do we got on new releases?
Okay, coming out this week. 3 movies worth mentioning on DVD. Due Date with Robert Downey Jr. and Zach Galifianakis. I saw that one. It's pretty funny.
You saw it in the theaters.
Yeah, I saw it in the theaters. It's pretty funny. Get Low with Bill Murray and Robert Duvall, which looks awesome. I've got it on the top of my Netflix queue.
Bill Murray was just. Did you listen to the interview?
Yeah, he was on Howard Stern. Yeah. Looks interesting. It's about a guy he's an undertaker, and he decides he's going to have his own funeral before he dies. Because he said, people, they spend so much time worrying about it that when he dies, just bury me. I want to do my funeral now. Let's celebrate my life now.
So the live living way kind of idea.
Yeah, and then there was another one. It's only straight to DVD movies, but I thought I would mention it just because they're kind of getting in front of this Cowboys versus Aliens and all this other stuff. But it's called Alien versus Ninja.
Can't wait to see that.
So I'm sure that'll be great. Kind of 2 movies worth mentioning coming out in theaters this week. Hall Pass, the Farrelly Brothers. That's their new movie. Haven't really heard a lot about from them lately, but I've read some reviews, so it's pretty funny. And then Drive Angry 3D.
With my boy Nicolas
Cage. Just looks so cheesy and stupid that it has to be somewhat entertaining.
When I saw the previews for this 6 months ago, I wanted to see it since then. And now that it's back out and being shown on television, I'm like, yes. And everybody's like, you're an idiot. And I'm like, I wanted to see it since day one, so don't talk to me about being an idiot.
And then this week in video games, Killzone 3 for PS3.
Which Bailey, if I'm not mistaken, LBX went out and already has bought.
Yeah, and Bailey is already telling us it's great. You should check it out. Also, Bulletstorm came out this week, which is like the foul-mouthed shooter from the Gears of War guys. If you have seen any of the commercials, there's one on G4 playing right now where they have the drill instructor from Full Metal Jacket recreating that scene with Private Pyle. It's pretty funny. You get points basically based on how creatively you kill people.
I downloaded the demo and
yes, I mean it looks like it would be intense.
Camping.
Yeah, and then next week's a better week for movies and stuff. I got a lot of stuff coming out on DVD. 127 Hours, which is nominated for Best Picture, and James Franco nominated for Best Actor. Love and Other Drugs with Jake Gyllenhaal and Anne Hathaway.
I heard she's naked in that movie almost half the time.
I heard she is too. I've heard that it's
you could have seen Chad's face.
Yeah. Burlesque comes out next week with Christina Aguilera and Cher and whatever. Bambi comes back out on Blu-ray next week. And just thought I'd mention it. And then the one that I really want to see, I wanted to see it in the theaters, but Faster, starring The Rock. He's going by The Rock again because he came back on Raw and cut a 20-minute promo that was awesome. If anybody saw that a couple weeks ago, that was flipping awesome. On YouTube. I mean, I felt like I was back in 1998, back in college watching it. It was awesome. But Faster comes out next week in the movies at the theater. Rango comes out. The Johnny Depp cartoon with the little iguana looks pretty good. Adjustment Bureau with Matt Damon. Yeah, it kind of looks fun. And then Take Me Home Tonight. It's the Topher Grace, Anna Faris. It's kind of set in the 80s.
Great song.
Yeah, kind of like the vibe I've seen from the preview so far. Mm-hmm. And then next week there's really only one game worth mentioning. That's the new Fight Night Champions.
Have we heard? Why have we not talked about that? I've gotten every Fight Night, like from round 1 to round 4, before it was even rounds. I've had Fight Night. Why have we not talked about Champions yet? That bothers me. So we're gonna have to talk about Champions sometime, and maybe I'll get that because I love the Fight Night game. The only thing I got into was the training. It got so difficult to actually rank your boxer up for those bigger fights that it was impossible. So I was like, "This is stupid. I hate you," and I'm quitting. So, but all right. So those are our new releases. They're out there, guys. Let's go ahead and just I'm gonna grind my gears for a second after we do my new releases. Of course, Lego Caribbean's coming out in May. Yes. Of course, the Lego franchise for any video games, I love. Traveler's Tales, I can't talk enough about it. I love the Lego games, Caribbean movies, so Pirates of the Caribbean. I am so excited about that. You came in today, you told me that the Legos is doing Star Wars 3, which I said there's no way because they've already done all the movies, but then I thought Clone Wars coming off the Cartoon Network. And I've told you, for 3 years, I've DVR'd every Clone Wars, and I've seen every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it is probably one of the better animated storyline shows that I've watched in the past, 10 years. I mean, it's really good. It's kind of fill-in, stuff like that. So Lego's got 2 new games coming out, it seems like, and I'm really excited about that. Gears of War 3 we'll talk about later on, but that's what Bulletstorm reminds me of anyways.
Well, it's the
Really
same
cool.
guys that
Yeah.
made it, Cliff Blazinski and those guys.
So Gears of War 3, if anybody out there is a Gears fan, but that'll be later on. And the iPad 2 drops next month, in a week or 2.
Yeah, I like how Apple was basically like, no, it's not coming out. No, there's no iPod or iPad 2, and then they've announced
in
March,
March.
that
Yeah.
it'll be out. And Verizon will also be supporting that as well.
Oh, they're going to have the iPad along
Yeah,
with
well, they
the,
had their first iPad, but
Right.
they're going to be supporting this one and the iPhone 4.
And of course, we, for Black Friday, we looked at the little Verizon tablet, and, that thing was really neat. Great graphics on that with the Verizon rep here.
Well, I'll tell you, today, I'm going to talk about tablets for a second, but
I wanted to talk about
iPad, with the girl we call
Yeah.
iPad, today she was like, can I read on my iPad? I downloaded the book, To Kill a Mockingbird. I downloaded it on my iPad. Can I read? And I was like, well, yeah, sure. And that child has not been that quiet all year.
So that's all we need to do. Well, we got
Apparently.
the Nook in the library now. We only have one, but the Nook's available in the library now. I mean, the technology's getting there. iPad. I've been going to these tournaments with the girls for volleyball, and my new thing now is to count how many parents are sitting around working and playing on their iPad. And the other day in Louisville was the funniest thing. The mid-court, there was a middle court, and nobody was playing on it. Kids were shooting hoops and stuff, and little kids, the brothers of the girls that were playing, they were out there, and I see a row of 3 or 4 parents just sitting one seat apart. Every one of them had their iPad out, and they were all playing on it, just sitting there. And I was just like, that is absolutely the funniest thing ever, because 2 years ago, it was the iPhone. Everybody had their iPhone out. Everybody was playing on that. And now it's the iPad. And I talked to a parent last weekend in Indianapolis about it, and he was giving me all sorts of good information. He loves it. He's streaming music from his computer that he's downloaded it. From his computer, he's got it streaming through his iPad. He also has found a way to get storage on there through Mac and everything else. So, like I said, I mean, I'm kind of interested in getting one. I don't know why I have a laptop. I have an iPhone. But I really... Is it because it's such a cool toy?
Well, I think that may be part of it, but I also think it's the thing of it's bigger than your iPhone, it's smaller than your laptop, and it's kind of the perfect size for some of the things you're talking about.
Yeah. So, what do you think, tablet-wise? He's just over here giggling at his Facebook.
I haven't really thought about buying one. Don't need one, so haven't really been looking.
But I'll spend
If
my
it becomes on
money
the
on
eBay Daily Deal, I'll definitely buy one. But till then, I don't need one.
They had one of the Samsung tablets was on eBay's Daily Deal a week or 2 ago.
But I heard it's got a slower processor.
Yeah.
It's not as good.
Yeah, I'm not going anything but top stream on that. So, but all right. With that being said, that's our recent new releases coming out. Keep your eyes open for those Lego games because they're coming and they're gonna be awesome. All right, guys, let's get into it. I'm gonna grind my gears about it, but we're gonna talk about the Oscars. I'm gonna grind my gears real quick, and I've talked about this for the last 2 years now. Oscars goes to the 10 movie Best Picture. Go ahead and give me some input. What you guys think? I myself hate it. Like I said, Brad and Marty, since I was their age. Hey guys, thanks for helping out. Good to have you in the studio. Nick, you too, buddy. You too. But the Oscars grind my gears. Why 10 movies? Why 10 movies? I know you've tried to rationalize it, and I hate.
Oh, I haven't tried to rationalize it. I can tell you why the Academy said they did.
I hate it, and I hate them for it. But I'll still watch you.
Yeah.
I'll watch you Oscars because.
Yeah, but I mean, their thing is like, every year there's 5 Best Picture nominees, and there's usually 1 people have seen, maybe 2, and so their thing is with 10, you can get some of these movies that other people have seen, and they'll be like, wow, I really liked Inception. I want to watch the Oscars, but Inception doesn't have a shot in hell of winning.
It's true.
I mean, honestly, Inception is probably the second best movie I saw last year.
But the editing, I hope it wins editing.
It have to win for visual effects.
Yeah. So I mean, stuff like that. But so that's me. What do you think? I know you've watched movies since day one, but at the same time, it's gone to 10 instead of 5.
Yeah, that's way too many 127 hours doesn't need to be on there. Toy Story 3. Yeah,
Well,
cartoons.
The thing with the animated movies is it was like Beauty and the Beast back in 91 or 92. Like, that was a really good movie.
But they've got their own category already.
Yeah, and then they nominated for Best Picture. First movie nominated for Best Picture, animated movie ever, blah, blah, blah. And, that's great, but it seems like now, every year, there's always a really good animated movie, and it's kind of like this is a way for them to be like, hey, it's a Best Picture nominee. Like last year, everybody talked about Up. I thought Up was pretty boring.
Yeah, I
like
didn't
WALL-E.
enjoy it.
Yeah, but I thought WALL-E was great. Like, I could see WALL-E being nominated for Best Picture. Eva. I could see that one this year. Like, everybody talked on and on about Toy Story 3. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, it wasn't even as good
I
as
thought
the
it
first
was.
one.
I thought as far as Pixar movies go, it was probably one of their weaker movies.
Okay, but you know what? And I agree with you on the fact that I did not like Toy Story 1 was the best, of course. It's the original one. But at the same time, we were younger we were so much younger when
yeah,
Toy
but-
Story
They seem to
1
like-
came out.
But even the tone of Toy Story 3, like there's nothing fun about Toy Story 3.
Yeah,
You're right.
people are talking about how it made them cry. And
Yeah, Toy Story 3 is about these toys. Like it's depressing.
Yeah.
It's like Pixar has decided to get depressing with Up. Those first
They're
15,
emo.
the
Pixar's
first
got
15
emo.
minutes of Up are like gut wrenching to watch.
Marty cried.
Yeah, and then you look at Toy Story 3, which is basically like we're useless now. Nobody wants us, and they get treated horribly. There's nothing funny in that movie.
You're right. Not even the little kindergarten kids trying to tear them apart. I'm
No.
like, you don't ruin Buzz Lightyear and turn him into a Spanish-speaking hero. I don't know. I'm with you. I did not like Toy Story 3 as much as everybody thought. It'll make you cry or you're not a man. I'm telling you, I must be more man than anybody out there crying for that movie.
I mean, I've cried at movies before.
I remember when Bambi's mom died and I had to hold you for like a day.
Yeah.
I mean, it was rough, but I got you through it. Now it's on Blu-ray. I don't know if I can take that again.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to be able to get through that.
Tell you, if
together.
Where the Red Fern Grows ever comes out on Blu-ray, I may have to take off for like a week.
You'll be in mourning. You'll wear all
Yeah.
black, everything like that. So, all right. So, that's a little grind our gears. So we got that out of the way. You know what? Let's get into it. We'll say Best Picture for last, Best Director. I'll not go in the same order they go on the Oscars, but we'll talk about a lot of good stuff. Hopefully for the next 20-25 minutes on the podcast to wrap up episode 16. Like I said, Oscars is a huge night for me. I love movies. It's one of the things that just keeps me going day in and day out is new movie releases, trailers, and then the Oscars. Real quick on a side note, one of my favorite parts of the Oscars is and I hate to say it, but it's when they showed everybody that's died in the past year.
And then you hear
Is it wrong?
You hear the people clap.
Someone they
and
know,
then
they
and then
go
it's like,
crazy.
hey, yeah, we know that guy. And then it's like, for somebody
like
you
the
don't
sound
know.
editor that
Yeah.
from one movie.
Oscar-winning sound editor. And everybody's like, oh, nice guy.
He must have
And then
been
it'll be
great.
like, I don't know.
B. Arthur.
Yeah, B. Arthur or somebody like that. They're like, oh, B, I love Golden Girls.
Maud.
So, but that is one of my favorite parts of the show. Lifetime Achievement Award, not so much. But have you ever been a big fan of the Lifetime Achievement Award? I think now that we're getting older and we're going to know who
Yeah.
these people are, I think it's going to have a little more impact.
But it seems to me the Golden Globes, they always pick a guy that's a lot more relevant than the Oscars do.
Unlike MTV,
To me,
who
the
did,
Oscars is still kind
Howard.
of... The Oscars are still very similar to the Grammys in that a lot of times the Oscar winners seem a little out of touch with, like Justin Bieber didn't win Best New Artist, and which I'm not saying he should have, but I'm saying to give it to a complete unknown that 99% of the country had never heard of, like, who does that?
Yeah.
And Arcade Fire, sure, they're a nice little band. I like some of their songs. To have them win Album of the Year, I'm sure somebody was like, my teenage son likes that Arcade Fire. We should vote for them. That's sometimes the Oscars comes across that way.
All right. Well, there you go. All right, here we go. Let's get into it now. Why we have this fella here to my left on the show is because he's literally seen 9 out of the 10 Best Pictures.
I've missed 2.
Okay, he's missed 2. 8 out of the 10 Best Pictures. He's seen a lot of the movies on the list. And so the knowledge that he's going to bring to the table tonight should be
Yeah, and I'll just throw this out. If you've got some free time this weekend, Entertainment Weekly has got a list up the 25 movies you need to watch for Oscar night, and it's not just the nominees; it's also like some good movies that didn't get nominated. It's a great list. I think
Like
I've
Human
seen.
Centipede.
Yeah,
Is that on there?
Tiptoes. Which if you didn't watch Tosh.0 last night, go there now. Watch Tiptoes, spoiler theater, or whatever, uncut. It's hilarious.
All right. With that being said, we are going to do actor in a leading role and actor in a supporting role to start off and before our next break. So, actor in a leading role. I'm not really going to read off the names. We've got our
you can't pronounce them.
Well, that's true too, and I don't even know what that. I know what that movie is, but I don't know how to pronounce it.
I'll tell you.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Beautiful. All right, actor in a leading role, and the Oscar goes to.
I'm going with Colin Firth on this one for The King's Speech.
And why?
He was just great in it, and the rest of the people on there weren't very impressive.
Can we rebut at this point?
Oh, yes, go
Yes,
ahead. I'd like to
please
hear
rebuttal.
this.
I said this earlier when we were eating. To me, Colin Firth is playing the same role he's played in every movie, except now he's got a stutter.
I was going to say my argument is he's not ever been a royalty.
Yeah, I mean,
stuffer.
it's the same Colin Firth. It's Mr. Darcy. It's whoever he was in Love Actually. It's Bridget Jones. It's the same guy, just with a stutter. And I think Colin Firth is a great actor. And he probably deserved an Oscar way before this, but I think this is the Oscar voters like, okay, Colin Firth, you've done like the prestige role now. You've played a guy with a problem. We're going to give you your Oscar.
Who was it? I can't remember which one of. Who was talking about, like, literally somebody had written up an article and said that he basically goes full retard by developing a stutter. Was that one of you two?
I would never use that word.
What do you say? Say that
Like,
again.
it's like you remember full retard and
Oh yeah, I said that.
Tropic Thunder?
Tropic
Yeah.
Thunder, but it's like somebody had seriously equated a speech impediment
Yeah,
for like retardation.
it was Richard Roper had said, somebody was saying like, oh, his performance, he didn't go full retard like Lazarus St. James, Robert Downey Jr. Tropic Thunder said, and he was like, but when did a stutter become, we've had guys that are paralyzed except for their left foot and, all this other stuff.
Left foot.
And now if you just stutter, that's okay, Oscar worthy right there.
I'm
Great
telling
job.
you, South Park may have an Oscar nominee up there.
Timmy.
All right, actor in a leading role, and the Oscar goes to. All right, guys, we are back with episode 16. We are in the midst of Oscar talk and our Oscar nominations and our nods and who we think should be picked and who should win, why and why not. So, with that being said, we're going to get right back into it. And we were going with the Oscar for actor in a leading role, and the Oscar goes to.
Well, I think Colin Firth will win. I personally would probably pick Jesse Eisenberg just because I think he takes a guy that a lot of people hate already in Mark Zuckerberg and does a good job with that role. He does a good job. Like, he doesn't make him too much of a prick and he doesn't make him likable. He just makes him what he is. And I think, that to me is a good role. And I think any other year he would probably win hands down.
All right. And I, like I said, I've yet to see that one, and I don't know why, but here's the only thing I'm worried about with this list is Jeff Bridges is on the list. And if you remember correctly, who won for True Grit back in the day, was none other than the freaking Duke,
Yeah.
John Wayne, his last movie before, he seriously was, ready to die of cancer at any moment, and they give him the nod and give him the...
I don't think Jeff...
Didn't they give
Eisenberg-
Jeff Bridges the pity Oscar last year?
Yeah, he got it for the
Country movie?
Yeah, the country
But that movie
last
was
year.
good. Did you guys see that movie? He
No.
did a great job.
I actually
in that
didn't
movie.
see that one.
I really enjoyed him in that movie, so I thought he deserved it. I thought he did a great job.
I saw True Grit. I thought, he was okay.
Good Buster Cogburn.
Yeah, he did okay. I definitely don't think it was the best performance of the year. But
no.
I just don't like the fact that it's up there. I don't know why that's bothering me, but just because of the past. So, all right. Well, with that being said, let's go actor in supporting role, and let's start with you, Grant. Oscar goes to.
I haven't seen the movie yet, but everything that I've read and everything I talk about says Christian Bale for The Fighter. says he basically just becomes, this guy that's a drug addict and stuff, and he's won everything so far. I think the only way he loses is if there is this big swing for King's Speech. Jeffrey Rush may take it, kind of in a surprise because of that sport, but I think, Christian Bale's got to be the guy.
Seems like boxing movies always win it, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
did you have anybody?
I would definitely go with Christian Bale. He did a great job in that performance. I mean, just the weight he lost, he looked ridiculously cracked out. King's Speech, not Mark Ruffalo. Jeffrey Rush, great. He did an awesome job.
I don't know that Jeffrey Rush has done a bad job in a movie, though. Like, honestly, can you think of one where you're like, oh my gosh, like?
He did House on Haunted Hill. That was pretty bad.
That was a bad movie, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that movie itself was bad. So, okay. But I will give you that. So, I'm going way out on a limb. I would love to see John Hawkes win for Winter's Bone. As Teardrop, I thought he did an absolutely wonderful job. That movie, we talked about it. We didn't like it as much as, everybody's like, oh, it's such a great movie. But I thought he did a great job in it. But I'm going with the sleeper with Mark Ruffalo. For The Kids Are All Right. I think this may be the sleeper, like the one that they actually pull out. But, because it's actor in a supporting role, who knows? I'm probably going to be wrong, but that's who I would think. All right, I'm already wrong. And, of course, we've talked about every one of them. Let's talk about Jeremy Renner. For The Town. That's what I said, Renner. Did you not hear me?
No.
I got to learn how to read. For The Town, we liked the movie, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I thought he did a good job, and it seems like every year there's that guy that gets nominated for playing like the gritty kind of bad guy. But he's kind of doing it for the right reason kind of guy, and I think that was him. And, also, a lot of people don't remember, was it last year he was nominated for Best Actor for The Hurt Locker.
Which I'm still mad about that one.
Yeah, that it beat Dances with Space Aliens.
Whoa. Don't talk about my Avatar, boy. All right. Actress in a leading role. The Oscar goes to, I'm going with Natalie Portman all the way on this for Black Swan. I think this is her time.
Yeah.
She's up against some stiff competition. I mean, just the names themselves, but some good movies are in there. But I do believe out of this list, Natalie Portman should probably take home the Oscar, and I cannot wait to see her on Oscar night because I'm in love with Natalie Portman.
No.
So,
I'd like to see it go to Jennifer Lawrence for The Winter's Bone. Probably not going to happen. She was great in that movie. It probably will definitely go to Natalie Portman.
You've seen The Black Swan.
Yeah, Black Swan. Really good movie. I highly recommend it.
I think Natalie Portman as well. I think the sleeper here is Annette Bening. Maybe she's getting up in years, and they're just like, she's been nominated 2 or 3 times. I read something online today that the other 2 times she was nominated, Hilary Swank beat her both times.
Oh, and Natalie Portman almost has that Hilary Swank.
Yeah, and so I think, Black Swan's one of those I've wanted to watch, and I just keep missing it and are not making a point to go see it. But everything that I have heard on it, talks about how phenomenal her performance is. And, Darren Aronofsky, all those movies he puts out, The Wrestler, Requiem for a Dream, you're going to get some great performances out of those. And, I think Natalie Portman has always been an actress that's kind of been right there where you're just like, she's going to break out, be an Oscar winner, stuff like that. And I think this is the year.
Was Star Wars where you really started to see that, or was it like later on?
No, I think we're really going to see that with Thor this summer.
Right.
Plus, she also makes out with Mila Kunis in the movie, so that was pretty awesome.
Nice.
Pretty
hot
not a bad scene.
Did you have a sweet tweet during that? Did you really sweet tweet?
No.
2 girls. All right. Well, actress in supporting role. The Oscar goes to.
I'm gonna say Helena Bonham Carter for King's Speech again.
You are right.
Yeah, I'm thinking they're gonna
the wave.
They are gonna sweep the Oscars this year.
How long has it been since we've had a sweep?
It's been a while.
Titanic, maybe.
Anything after that?
No, Titanic didn't sweep because Kate Winslet didn't win.
No.
Yeah, so it's Braveheart. That was like what, 11, 12?
Yeah, it's been back in the 90s before.
So, actress in supporting role.
I honestly, where I haven't seen The Fighter, I know Melissa Leo, is that her name? Won the Golden Globes, and there's been this backlash against her, and that basically she took out her own ads and has done like these really like please vote for me things.
Almost like the Heisman.
Yeah, and they think that's going to turn a lot of people off, and they think Amy Adams has done a really good job, and they're both for The Fighter, and they're going to split the vote. I'm going to go off on a limb and say Haley Steinfeld from True Grit, because it's always like the girl always wins, the little girl always wins at the Oscars. I think she's going to pull it out. I think she's going to be this big surprise of Oscar night.
All right, I myself am going, after we answer the phone, I am going to go with,
we got a call-in segment now.
Melissa Leo.
Line 1, caller.
Line 1, you're on the air. Go ahead. Hi, this is...
Yeah, I've got a car I need to sell.
All right, caller, this is Dr.
Swap
Obvious.
meet.
All right, so I'm going with Melissa Leo for The Fighter. We will see. I don't know why I'm so anti-True Grit. I've been anti-True Grit since day one.
I will say she did a really good job. She was one of the few things I liked about that version of
What
True
about
Grit.
Matt Damon?
Matt Damon's like he's got a cameo.
Yeah, he wasn't in
basically.
there that much.
All right, well, that will bring us to, and there's only 3 in this one. We'll name them off, and then we'll talk about them because I want to discuss something real quick. Animated feature film. The 3 are How to Train Your Dragon, The Illusionist, and Toy Story 3. You hear the name right there at the bottom.
Yeah.
We've already talked about the movie. That's my pick to win because I like to pick actual winners. Did you see How to Train Your Dragon?
No,
Have
not
you seen
yet.
How to Train Your Dragon?
No.
Okay, I'm the only one to watch animation anymore. I watched How to Train Your Dragon. I got it on Netflix. I don't know why everybody made such a big deal out of this movie, and we won't talk long since you guys haven't seen it. But what did you say about this movie? It was How to Train Your Dragon. It was, I guess, who was it? Pixar that did it?
No, DreamWorks.
DreamWorks. It's the same old story. Oh my God, I've got a dragon. I got to train it, but of course I'm a Viking.
Same old story.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! But you know what I mean. Like it's so predictable, and you're like, oh, he's going to find a dragon, and then his
Was there a
village
red
is
dragon
going-
involved?
Not gonna like the dragon, and
Yeah,
then he trains the dragon, and the dragon saves the day, and everybody likes the dragon.
Thank you.
But
That's all she wrote.
it's like when you go watch romantic comedies, you know that guy and girl are going to get together, they're going to make one another mad, and then they're going to get back together at the end. That's
Yep, same old story.
see, that's what I was hoping with the Ashton Kutcher movie, No Strings Attached.
spoiler alert.
I'm not. That's what I was hoping
You just
for.
said
but
that's what you were hoping.
I hope that they would never get back together. But, okay, we'll stop talking about that. Anyways, Toy Story 3, what do you got?
Winner.
I would like to see the Illusionist win, and I think it's kind of quirky enough that there will be some people.
Have you seen it?
No, but I just think like it's one of those like it's foreign. It's the people who made that movie. They won a couple of years ago for that Triplets of Baskerville movie. So I think there may be some people like F Woody. I'm voting for this other one. But no, I think Toy Story 3 wins.
We don't like the emo kid story from Toy Story 3. We don't really art direction.
Nah.
No, I think Best Picture is really on this list.
Cinematography, costume design,
Foreign film.
okay,
Director,
Let's talk
yeah.
about the directing. Okay, directing. Oscar goes to. Of course, I went. I'm going to go ahead and start with me, so you guys can pull yours up, so you can see the list. But directing, I went with The King's Speech. I'm going to ride that wave. I'm going to ride the train. Get on board. Here we go. It's just got so much right there at the end, right towards Oscar time. All of a sudden, here comes all the press. Here comes everybody. Hey, let's get on board with this. I'm going King's Speech all the way. Director Tom Hooper. So
I'm going to go out on a limb and no longer pick King's Speech. I'm going to go with The Black Swan. I think it was a great.
old Darren boy?
Yeah, I think old Darren.
Darren Aronofsky.
that's old man Aronofsky's son.
Yep. Jeremy.
David Fincher, Social Network. I just think the script, Aaron Sorkin will win for Best Adapted Screenplay. The script is great. He does a great job of how he kind of frames the movie. And like the movie is basically framed by 2 civil cases against Mark Zuckerberg, and it goes in and out of those. I just think he does a lot of really cool things. And it's David Fincher. Like, David Fincher's not made a bad movie. And I think... I was reading something online where they said something like 5 out of the last 7 years, Best Director has not won Best Picture, and I think them giving Fincher the best director will kind of be there like, well, Social Network was really good.
Okay.
And so, you know,
That
here's
makes
your treat for that.
And we've talked about this. How do you have a different director, a different Best Picture, and a different adapted?
Yeah, because
screenplay
Social
that-
Network will win screenplay. That it's in the same category as King's Speech. It'll win that. It'll win director, but it won't win Best Picture.
So, and it's almost like the Oscars. It's almost like they want to spread it out and be like, "Oh, we want to give everybody who participated a trophy." Like
Yeah.
this is like big time.
Little
like,
League.
Yeah, I don't. It's not Little League or Little League baseball anymore. You know, not everybody gets the bat. So, real quick, anybody music? Anybody got anything? I put Inception. Just
Gwyneth Paltrow is going to sing.
so
I think Social Network's music's really good. I also liked Inception's music.
Okay, so
Social Network won at the Golden Globes. Trent Reznor did the score on that one.
what about the original song? They all sucked. I'm not kidding you. When I listen to these 4 songs, the fact that we're gonna have to listen to these 4 songs during the Oscars makes me mad.
You don't like I'm Country Strong?
No, it's-
no, that's not the one.
No,
Coming
Coming
home.
Home.
Okay, I don't know
No,
that
it's
one.
miserable. And Dido, if Dido sings one of these for 127 hours,
I go
if
Dido.
rise,
Dido wins.
It sucks. It's
Dido
miserable.
wins. That's just how it goes.
If you want to fall asleep, you'll listen to that song. I got Toy Story winning that one. Short animated, short film.
Okay.
The Gruffalo.
So we've got about 5 minutes.
Okay, so 5 minutes.
All right.
Let's get into it. We've got Best Picture. Best Picture. And Matt, you want to take it off? You've seen most of the movies. Best Picture and the Oscar goes to.
Again, the King's Speech.
All right, give us a reason why it's beating out some of the other ones like Black Swan that you love.
I don't know. I just have a feeling. I liked it the best of any of the other movies. 127 hours, like I said earlier, does not belong on there. It's like phone booth, but the guy's stuck under a rock and not in a phone booth.
And it's not Colin Farrell with a cool accent.
And it just gets really boring. Social Network, I think Jeremy, probably a great movie, but still don't think you can beat it. And Winter's Bone, that's
You've been talking about Winter's
Yeah.
Bone since it's come out.
yeah, and I just don't see it having a chance either. So
So the King's Speech.
King's Speech
Oscar
is my
goes to
pick.
King's Speech. All right, G baby, what do you got? An Oscar goes to.
Well, here's my thing with King's Speech. It's probably going to win. I definitely don't think it's the best picture. I think it's probably the 3rd or 4th best movie on this list.
what do you got above it?
Well, I think Inception is a better movie. And my pick would be Social Network.
Yes.
Now, King's Speech, we were talking about this earlier. They put this movie out every year. Some British movie about a king or a monarch of some sort that is very well acted. It's very well directed, but it's a solid movie. It's not the best picture of the year. You know, it's got some good. That Colin Firth is good. Jeffrey Rush is amazing in it. But I've seen this movie. I've seen these movies. To me, The Social Network, like, to take something as current as Facebook and put that in a narrative form. And I read the book, The Accidental Billionaires, and that book is horribly written. And for Aaron Sorkin to go back and create the script that he did and the performances in that movie, it's the best movie I saw. Like, it is, like, it's a 2.5 hour long movie, and I thought I was in the theater for maybe an hour and a half. Just to pay, everything about it works. And that's what I would vote for. And if the Oscars would have been held 2 months ago, it would have won in a landslide.
Yeah.
And it seems like every year there's this movie that gets this buzz that kind of comes out of left field. Because I think last year you saw that with the Hurt Locker. I think a lot of people were like, Avatar. And then Hurt Locker got this buzz.
And it wasn't even because of Hurt Locker at the theater. It was literally at home
Yeah.
DVD sales and people seeing it.
Yeah, well, I hadn't seen it until it came in on video, and
Yeah.
when I watched the DVD, I was like, that movie's awesome. And
See, I
and I
didn't
think
think
that's
so.
the thing is that a lot of people and get those movies, and they look at them like Social Network was a big hit. It made $100 million. I've seen that. So now this King's Speech, that's a pretty good movie. I think a lot of it is a lot of the voters have short term memories, and they don't remember kind of how blown away they were by Social Network or some of these other movies that came out earlier in the year.
And I've always thought that about the Oscars. the films at the beginning of the year or right after the Oscars are hurt the most, especially the big sellers, because they've got all year to contend with anything and everything that's coming out.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, it's almost a short-term memory. Why penalize a movie that came out right after the Oscars and not let them win, even if it is the best picture, just because you can't remember how much that movie actually moved you or how good that movie actually was back then. And I'm not saying they don't have to. I mean, I would like for them to have to sit down and watch all 10 of these again in a row.
Well, and I'll say, like, we saw Inception this summer. We went and watched it, and I remember, like, wow, Inception was great. And then I got the Blu-ray for Christmas and watched it again. I was like, that movie's awesome. Like, like, it wasn't just good. That movie's awesome. And so, it is that short-term memory. You know, if you would have asked me before Christmas, was Inception going to, was it one of the best movies of the year? I'd be like, it's pretty good.
Well, and that's what we had said when it came out. You know, we would come out of the theater like that's one of the best movies of the year. Bar none, it's going to be. So, I'm riding I'm right there with you. The King's Speech. Like I said, you talked about it. We talked about it. The buzz. King's Speech takes. It doesn't sweep the Oscars, but it does a good enough job to make everybody talk about it, and it just bumps up its sales even more for the rest of the year.
It comes out on DVD like 2 weeks after Oscars.
So, I mean, maybe the Oscars are in on the DVD sales, and that's how they do it. So, well, that being said, that's our Oscar picks. That's our award show for the night.
I want to jump in real quick. There's another Oscar or another award ceremony that same weekend, the Razzies, and I just wanted to share their worst picture nominees. The Bounty Hunter, The Last Airbender, Sex and the City 2, Twilight Saga, Eclipse, and Vampire Suck.
That was a horrible.
And I'm angry that Predators isn't on here. That would be my vote.
I would put that in front of Twilight.
Yeah. So
they're pretty good about worst picture, though.
Yeah, just wanted to mention what I thought were some bad movies.
So all right, that'll do it for our Oscar nomination picks. And the next time we come in to podcast, we'll be talking about the Oscars and letting you know how our picks held up and how Matt's picks came up. Matt, thank you so much for being in the studio, giving us your insight on the movies. Jeremy, like always, it's a pleasure. Guys, this was episode 16 of Never Press Pause. Don't forget to hit us up on yahoo.com. And
before you stop, can I slide in for
Absolutely. Come on in, Tech Talk.
Guys, look. This was on Tech Talk last week, and I want your opinion on this, so I can send Tech Talk people to you. I want to know, what do you think about Sony banning people for life online if you hack your PS3?
PS3 hackers, they've been huge crackdown.
We don't like hackers.
I can't stand it.
Life? I mean, come on. You're talking about a 12-year-old kid that's going to be banned for life from the PlayStation 10?
Maybe.
See what my point here?
Maybe.
Is that not a big stream?
Well, what is it? It's just for that gamer tag, though, right? It would be for that gamer tag and that credit card?
It said online for life is all it said.
I think it's the PS3, that actual device you cannot use online.
The legal statement says all Sony online services, which means you couldn't get an ebook. I'm an e-reader.
I'm to the point where, they've been cracking down on Xbox. I don't know for life, like you said, with the 12-year-old, there's going to be special occasions. But, man, if you're 18 years old or 16, 17, you're making the conscious decision that I'm cheating to get better, to do this so I can brag to my friends.
Well, so I've got you rolling now. I'm going to slide out. You're almost out of time. But I just wanted to know.
Yeah, I don't know about the whole life for life thing. I mean, that's kind of crazy. But I saw that they were really cracking down, and they've hired new people. Sony's hired new people to come in and say, you know what, crack down, get them out of here. So
well, we're getting zeros.
We're getting zeros over here, guys. Don't forget, hit us up at neverpresspause@yahoo.com. Follow us on Twitter at neverpresspause. Join our fan page on Facebook. Don't forget BreaOnline.com. Don't forget our site, and G-Baby's been blogging like crazy and tweeting like crazy on all the special occasions. Matt, once again, thanks for coming in. Tech Talk, Chad Ember Studios, thanks for having us. Guys, thanks for helping. And that will do it for episode 16, Never Press Pause.
Yay.